Have you ever paused amidst the rush of life, just to listen to a story, a lesson, or a fleeting emotion? Life is a journey of exploration, and every day is an opportunity to learn, grow, and see the world from a new perspective. Welcome to Soul Station Official, a place where we share meaningful stories, deep life philosophies, and insightful perspectives on the world around us. Let's learn, grow, and discover together. A place where the soul finds rest, where stories turn into lessons, where every moment is worth reflecting on. Let's take a moment to pause, to listen, to reflect, and to reconnect with ourselves. Stories that everyone should hear at least once in their lifetime. 1. The Lost Camel. A merchant lost his camel and asked 3 wise men if they had seen it. The first said, "Was it blind in one eye?" The second said, "Did it have a limp?" The third asked, "Was it carrying honey on one side and rice on the other?" The merchant was amazed. "Yes." "Where is it?" The wise men replied, "We haven't seen it." The merchant accused them of theft. But when questioned, they explained, "We saw grass untouched on one side, meaning it was blind in one eye. Its footprints were uneven, meaning it had a limp. Ants were on one side and flies on the other, meaning it carried honey and rice." Lesson. Observing small details leads to wisdom. 2. The Farmer and his 4 sons. A dying farmer gathered his 4 quarrelsome sons and gave them a bundle of sticks, asking them to break it. They failed. Then he untied the bundle and handed them single sticks, which they broke easily. Alone you are weak. Together, you are strong. Lesson. Unity creates strength. 3. The Elephant and the Rope. An elephant was tied with a thin rope. A man asked the trainer, "Why doesn't it break free?" The trainer said, "Since childhood it was tied with the same rope. Back then, it wasn't strong enough to break it. Now, it doesn't even try." Lesson. Many are trapped by past limitations. Believe in yourself and break free. 4. The Lighthouse and the Ship. A ship's captain saw a light and ordered, "Change your course." A voice replied, "No, you change your course." Angrily, the captain insisted. The voice calmly responded, "I'm a lighthouse. You decide." Lesson. Pride can blind us to danger. Sometimes we must change direction. 5. The Stonecutter. A stonecutter wished to be a rich man. He became one but envied a king. He became a king but feared the sun. He became the sun but was blocked by a cloud. He became a cloud but was pushed by the wind. He became the wind but was stopped by a mountain. He became the mountain but was chipped away by a stonecutter. Lesson. Happiness lies in accepting who we are. 6. The Boy and the Starfish. A boy threw stranded starfish back into the sea. A man said, "There are thousands. You can't make a difference." The boy threw another and replied, "It made a difference to that one." Lesson. Small acts of kindness matter. 7. The Farmer and the Old Watch. A farmer lost his beloved watch in a barn full of hay. A boy offered to help. Instead of searching wildly, he sat still and listened. Soon, he heard the ticking and found the watch. Lesson. Sometimes, silence helps us find what we seek. 8. The Bamboo and the Reed. A bamboo tree boasted to a reed, "I am strong. You are weak." A storm came. The rigid bamboo snapped, but the reed bent and survived. Lesson. Flexibility is more powerful than strength. 9. The Coffee Cup Story. A professor served coffee in various cups, gold, silver, glass, and plastic. Students chose the finest cups. The professor said, "The cup doesn't change the coffee. Life is the coffee. Job, status, and wealth are just cups. Don't focus on the cup. Enjoy the coffee." Lesson. True happiness comes from within. 10. The Path to Success. A boy asked his teacher, "What is the path to success?" The teacher pointed to a rough, rocky road. "But it's too hard." The teacher smiled. "If it were easy, everyone would take it, and it wouldn't lead to success. Lesson. Success requires effort. 11. The rock in the road. A king placed a rock in the road. Many people complained, but only one farmer moved it. Underneath, he found gold and a letter. A reward for those who take action instead of complaining. Lesson. Obstacles test our determination. 12. The apple tree and the sun. As a child, a boy played under an apple tree. As he grew, he took its apples to sell, its branches for a house, and its trunk for a boat. When he returned as an old man, the tree, now just a stump, said, "Sit and rest." Lesson. Parents sacrifice endlessly for their children. 13. The 3 most important questions. A king asked a sage, "What is the most important time? Who is the most important person? What is the most important action?" The sage replied, "The most important time is now. The most important person is the one in front of you. The most important action is doing good." Lesson. Live in the present and do good now. 14. The nail on the door. A boy had a bad temper. His father gave him a bag of nails and said, "Every time you get angry, hammer a nail into the door." On the first day, the boy hammered more than 30 nails. Over time, as he learned to control his anger, the number decreased. Finally, he stopped hammering nails. His father then told him to remove each nail. Once done, his father pointed to the holes in the door and said, "Every harsh word you say in anger is like these nails. You can apologize, but the scars remain." Lesson. Words can cause deep wounds. Think before you speak, because even after an apology, the scars remain. 15. The story of the pencil. Before placing a pencil into a box, a grandfather told his grandson, "Remember these 5 things. 1. No matter how painful it is to be sharpened, it makes you better. 2. No matter how worn out you get, your inner value remains. 3. You can correct your mistakes with an eraser. 4. What matters most is the marks you leave on paper. 5. Even though you are small, you can do great things." Lesson. Like a pencil, each person has unique value. No matter how tough life gets, be persistent and leave a meaningful impact. 16. The fisherman and the businessman. A businessman met a fisherman resting by the shore. He asked, "Why aren't you fishing more?" The fisherman replied, "I've caught enough for today." The businessman said, "If you work harder, you can buy more boats, make more money, and retire early." The fisherman laughed and said, "But I'm already enjoying life now." Lesson. Happiness isn't about having more, but about knowing when to appreciate what you already have. 17. The monk and the glass of salt. A disciple complained about his suffering. His master handed him a handful of salt and told him to put it in a glass of water and drink. The disciple said, "It's too salty." Then, the master took him to a large lake and asked him to pour the salt in. After drinking the lake water, the master asked, "Is it still salty?" The disciple replied, "No." The master smiled. Suffering is like salt. It doesn't change, but the container does. Expand your heart, and your suffering will lessen. Lesson. Focusing only on pain makes life harder. But if we open our hearts, we will see things more lightly. 18. The butterfly and the man. A man saw a butterfly struggling to emerge from its cocoon. Wanting to help, he cut the cocoon open. However, the butterfly couldn't fly because its wings were too weak. Lesson. Struggles are essential for growth. If someone removes all obstacles for us, we may never become truly strong. 19. The 3 bricklayers. 3 men were laying bricks. One complained, "I'm just working for a paycheck." The second man said, "I'm building a sturdy wall." The third smiled and said, "I'm building a magnificent temple." All 3 did the same job, but their perspectives were different. Lesson. Attitude shapes our experience. Seeing purpose in what we do makes life more meaningful. 20. The pearl and the grain of sand. A grain of sand entered an oyster shell, causing pain. Instead of resisting, the oyster covered it with layers of nectar. Over time, it became a beautiful pearl. Lesson: life's difficulties can turn into something precious if we embrace and transform them. If you enjoy thought-provoking content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any new videos.